has to say. Oh, oh, I know what this is. I know what that is. That's a Kroot. It's the new limited box set. Yep. These guys look neat. Very, very neat. Got the gunner there. The pack is unleashed. Ooh. Spooky, spooky, spooky. Hunting season open. These guys always Kroot carnivores. They just Kroot something rider. Okay. And then the same thing, rampagers. Very, very cool. Kroot flesh sharper. And Kroot war shaper. This is going to be part of the Tau book that's coming out. This is going to be a limited edition box set. I do know that because it was leaked. Prepare your ambush. Find out more.
Season is.
All right, so I've always thought these guys were really cool, and they need to be more in the Tau armies. I'm not a big fan of the Tau. I mean, I do like their mechs and stuff, but I thought that these guys were. Oh my God, is my. Okay. We had some hiccups, chat. We had some hiccups. I don't know why. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is not good. Hold, please. We just gotta write out the scuff. Write out the scuff. I don't know why it's doing this. Because I'm not getting bad KBS. I'm getting over what's allowed on Twitch, and that's what's hurting my stream. Oh man. Alright, we're back in the green. In case any of that was super really choppy, I do apologize. I went over Twitch's allowed KBS to stream, and that was what was making the stream choppy. I was just saying that I always liked the Kroot. I thought the Kroot are very interesting. I was hoping when they said back in the day when we were going to get a new faction before they re-released the squats, maybe the Kroot would have broken off from the Tau, and that would have been interesting just to see a Kroot army.
Well and truly open. Everyone in the chat just going Kroot. This is the new Kroot for the Tau Empire, along with the new codex as well for the Tau in 10th edition. Eddie, let's start with the Kroot. What do we know about these Masters of DNA?
So the Kroot have been part of the Tau Empire since...
That guy's got a big old blunderbuss right there. Got some nice looking weapons here. Guy's got a knife. He's got a little Pathfinder spyglass. They're very, very beakies. Very, very beaky boys.
Their inception back in a previous edition of Warhammer 40,000. But they haven't had a huge amount of attention since they came out.
No, they
with
haven't.
the one very notable exception of the Kill Team that was released for Kill Team. But we are now seeing a massive expansion for the Kroot. And what we're going to show you today is only some of the new Kroot that are on their way for the Tau Empire as auxiliaries for Warhammer 40,000. So this is, we'll start with the Kroot Carnivore Squad.
So this has been confirmed that you can make your own Kroot army. You don't need any of the other Tau for it, for the other stuff that's coming.
These are your basic troopers. So this is a refresh of an existing kit with loads more detail. It's been a very long time since the Kroot Carnivore Squad came out. It was, I think, early 2000s. So almost 20 years waiting for this new unit. And the new kit has got everything you'd hope for in a new kit of Warhammer 40,000. Loads of different options in the mix there to make them very dynamic and very cool. You've got things like new special weapons that you can see bottom left there. You've got some lots of combat options, lots of things to kind of add a bit of variety. And these are very interchangeable as well with the Kroot Kill Team that came out, I think, last year.
Yeah.
So loads of really nice options to kind of mix into your army. And if you've got a Tau army, you can have quite a lot of these units as well. So there's not a huge amount of extra detail, I suppose, on these beyond the normal the warrior themselves, which is good because you might want to have 20, 30, 40 of these guys in a force, which is pretty cool. But this is arguably the least exciting of the new units because there's plenty of other very cool stuff on the way.
Yeah.
This guy's neat
This
looking.
is a Kroot flesh shaper. One of the things that the guys have done with the new Kroot is they've really expanded the concept of shapers, which previously was almost like a catch-it-all term for all Kroot leaders were called shapers. And what they've now done is expanded the idea of a shaper into different roles. So there are now shapers whose main job it is to be to kind of lead the evolutionary development of the Kroot. There are those of them that are almost.
So I take it this guy, his specialty is capturing people and then skinning them alive?
Like shamanic, there are those of them that are kind of trackers or hunters or war leaders and things like that. So the flesh shaper, his kind of role is to kind of basically decide who the Kroot are going to eat. They're like, you want to eat that bit and you want to eat that bit.
Don't eat that.
And kind of make sure, almost like a butcher kind of role to some extent, and that's reflected in some of the weapons. But you can see that this guy's also tooled up to the nines, right? Like he's got a lot of different weapons, both for killing and for cutting. So he's also got
Tooled up to the 9? I haven't heard that saying in a very long time.
a bit of a menace in close combat. A really beautiful kit though. Like this is, there's a lot of detail on that. So if you're a painter and you're looking for something to kind of show off your skills, this is cool. And I think worth saying as well across the entire range, if you have a Tau army, this gives you a really interesting and different set of stuff to paint into the army, which otherwise is very kind of like near future sci-fi. Another shaper. So this is a really cool kit.
Great.
This is the war shaper, and their role really is the kind of general of the Kroot force. And you can see already
nice
there with some of the options
crossbow.
we've got on display that there are a lot of different approaches to this particular kit. You can see variant heads, variant weapons. You've got bows and staves and close combat weapons and all sorts. Really lovely detail across this model as well. You can see the cloak there with that kind of reptilian Kroot looking flayed skin on the back there. Loads of kind of extra detail on this guy as well. So this is a really lovely model. This is probably one of the more detailed miniatures in the Kroot range.
It's great.
And really nice to kind of see that kind of character part of the Kroot expander, because we haven't really seen that since the first incarnation of the Kroot. So great to see. Now, this is a brand new unit. So Krootox will be familiar with anyone who's played Tau Empire Army in the past. But Krootox Rampages gives you a very different way of approaching them. So rather than being lumbering weapons platforms, these are younger, bold, kind of shock cavalry version of the Kroot, who charge into the middle of enemy armies and kind of send stuff flying. So this is kind of in the mix with your things like kind of Thunderwolves and Squig cavalry and stuff like that. So they hit very hard, and they can kind of tear enemy infantry and stuff to pieces.
So is this a subspecies of that? Or are they all connected in some way? Or is this just like a wild animal and they just kind of evolved or had similar ancestors at one point? I would really like to know.
They've got a little bit of shooting as well with those javelins and things, but really what these guys are about is just smashing right into the core of the enemy army and making a mess. And what they really do, if you've got a Tau army, is give you a very different style of approach to part of your force, because one of the things that you do struggle with a Tau army is, well, if the enemy get close, what am I going to do to fight them up close? How do I shift enemy units off objectives? This is one of your units that can absolutely do that. You send these guys into the an enemy force on an objective and they will rip them up, right, and throw them around. Very cool dynamic miniatures. You can see there they're kind of loping across the battlefield, charging forward. A very dynamic, very fun-looking unit to paint.
This guy's my favorite right here. I like him. He's got his little flintlock pistol up in the air.
They look great. They look mean.
They do look mean, The traditional Krootox hasn't gone away, though. If anything, he's bulked up a little bit.
Nice.
And again, he comes with a bunch of new options. So you can see there, this is a kind of older, gnarlier-looking Krootox maybe than the Kroot Rampages. He's got kind of longer quills. Lots of variety on this model as well. So you can see alternate head options, alternate gun options as well, which is a new thing. So you've got some kind of blast weapon options. You've got some heavier, kind of big autocannon-esque sort of options. And this guy rolled as
Looks like he almost has holy hand grenades, but those aren't holy hand grenades. Only the Imperium has those.
really changed fundamentally. What he's for is kind of hanging out towards the back of the battlefield, or with some of your longer range Kroot units and picking off targets at range. But obviously still a Krootox, so if you get into close combat with him, he's still going to rip you in half unless you're a pretty decent close combat unit.
Yeah.
So that's about half of the new Kroot stuff that's
half?
coming. That's what we're going to show you today. But all of the stuff that we've just shown you there actually comes in one big launch set, which is the Kroot hunting pack. So you get two of those units of Kroot infantry, the Kroot carnivores. You get a big unit of Kroot rampages. You get a Kroot ox, and you get the two shaper units that we saw there as well. So you get a very sizable force that you can either bolt onto the side of a Tau Empire force, or you can use it as the start of a Kroot force. And one of the things that is in the new Tau Empire Codex, which also comes in that box, is a bunch of new detachments. And one of those detachments effectively allows you to lean almost entirely, or entirely if you want to, into a Kroot force.
Nice.
So if you go, you know what, actually...
There you said entirely Groot force. Kroot. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Groot.
These new models are so cool, or I've been waiting so long for a Kroot army that I just want Kroot. You know what? I don't want any of the Tau stuff. I just want to have
Just give me Kroot.
a mercenary force of Kroot. You can actually build an entire Kroot army very happily with one of the detachments in this book, and all of the kind of stratagems and extra rules and things key off Kroot units, so you can build them like that. Or
That thing's going to be a new model we haven't seen yet, that dog thing. What? What'd I do, chat? What'd I do? Hold on. I done goofed. I done goofed. What did I do? Okay. We're almost there. Hold on. Hold on, chat.
So if you go, you know what, actually...
Okay, we'll have to
these new models
rehear
are
this
so
bit again.
cool,
I'm
or I've
sorry.
been waiting so long for a Kroot army
goofed.
that I just want Kroot. You know what? I don't want any of the Tau stuff. I just want to have
Just give me Kroot.
a mercenary force of Kroot. You can actually units to give me some combat beef, or to coming weeks and months.
Very nice. Shall we check out the next
Let's
reveal?
do it.
Damn
So
it.
you
Stuff for the Kroot.
infiltrate and grab objectives early
I'm
on,
not gonna
or
click
just
anything.
kind of give me something different to paint for aesthetic purposes, in which case you can add in any of those new Kroot units into your Tau army. So I think pretty much best of both worlds.
Lovely
You can
stuff.
have it either way.
Some lovely stuff for the Kroot there.
Yeah, get a treat. And like I say, that's only it's only about half of the new stuff that's on its way, and we'll have more of that Kroot stuff to show you over the next coming weeks and months.
Very nice.
very nice.
Shall we check out the next
Let's
reveal?
do it.
Alrighty, to the people over on YouTube, well, by the by, but to the people on Twitch, don't go anywhere. I do this to break up stuff, just so if people will come to my YouTube channel, they can find what they want to watch, and they don't have to watch the whole thing. It's just what I do.